is Local 8 News.
3 people stabbed. We're going to tell you what police say happened at a home in Knoxville this morning. Plus, how was it handled? A fire review team will now investigate the wildfires that took 14 lives in Sevier County. Thanks for joining us for Local 8 News at noon. I'm Erin Barnett. Certainly a big week for East Tennessee with several connections to the presidential inauguration, and that does include more than 300 members of the Pride of the Southland Band. Local 8 News was there this morning as the band loaded up on the buses and headed on to D.C. This will be their 15th time the band will march in the presidential inaugural parade. The band has marched for every president since Dwight Eisenhower, regardless of political party. The band director, Don Ryder, says this is really an experience for the students and it's not about politics.
For us, it's a great tradition. It's the 15th time that we've marched in that parade. And when we applied before even the voting process began. So we would be going regardless of who was going to be there. It's a march for democracy, not for political agendas.
This trip is something that nobody in the country gets to do. And so it's a huge opportunity for me and a huge opportunity for everybody else in the band as well.
They will, of course, be playing Rocky Top, Fight the Ball song, and also Down the Field during the parade on Friday. Well, crews have been making final preparations for the historic ceremony on Friday. Donald Trump will be sworn in as the nation's 45th president. And although you may not see them on television, among those helping with security for the event will be some National Guard members from right here in East Tennessee. And special events have already started there in Washington. One featuring the new Vice President, Mike Pence, is set for this afternoon. And East Tennessee favorite Lee Greenwood will be singing at that event, as well as on Inauguration Day. Lee Greenwood talked with Local 8's Alan Williams about the honor.
The God Bless USA is just, it's bigger than me. I mean, it's America's song. So, you know, when they call me and says, we want you to sing it at the mall, 30 years later, you know, like, you still want that? And they're, yep, we do. So it's pretty cool.
Yes, all those years later, we'll be following all the inaugurational events for you Friday here on WVLT. All right, another mild day out there, Heather. It's just so nice to wear the short sleeves and it feel okay to walk outside.
Even better, we've seen some sunshine.
I know.
I've missed it.
You had the sunglasses I saw.
I did. I actually needed my sunglasses
earlier.
this morning, which was wonderful. Or I had to find them, actually. I hadn't needed them in a while. But I know some of you may say you haven't needed your sunglasses. The clouds have been kind of shifting around our area, so it's a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day today. But we did start off the morning mild, yet again. Some of you a little cooler. Notice we had the low 40s, plateau to southeastern Kentucky, then it inched into those mid to upper 40s into northeast Tennessee. Still had hanging on to that 50-degree mark in parts of the valley to the Smokies with the clouds. That definitely helped. Now notice where we are at this point. It's still 44 degrees in London. It's 46 in Oneida, 47 Crossville. So there's a chill in the air compared to what it has been lately. Remember, upper 40s would be a normal high for this time of year. So I think it still feels really nice out there for January. It's 55 right now in Knoxville, even 58 degrees in Inglewood. With that cloud cover shifting around, though, again, some sunshine at times. You get a few clouds drifting in. So we're seeing that kind of give and take with the clouds moving around our area. Even in the view right now from the top of the Smokies, there's the clouds. You know, they're nestled along the mountains at the moment. But part of the changing conditions is, again, some rain and storms that are on the way. So coming up in your extended forecast, we will see the clouds, the showers to storms move back in. I'll give you the timing of all that and how it'll affect you coming up.
All right, thank you, Heather. Police are still sorting through the mayhem of an early morning incident that ended up with 3 people with stab wounds. Non-life-threatening injuries, but they did get that call before 5 o'clock this morning on Citico Street. 2 women and 1 man had been fighting, according to police. No arrests were made related to the knife fight, but they did take Taylor Hall, we know, in for violating probation for a previous DUI. A federal investigation will be looking into whether anything could have been prevented or warnings could have been different when those deadly wildfires tore through the Smokies last year. Those fires killed 14 people, destroyed so many homes and so much more. Many people told Local 8 News that they're upset with the lack of warning from officials. We also are hearing on this from Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander, who asked Trump's nominee for Secretary of Interior for assurance that he would pay close attention to this review of the fires. Well, a preliminary federal report does confirm some more details about the deadly school bus crash in Chattanooga. This was all last November. The National Transportation Safety Board does confirm the driver, Jonathan Walker, lost control while rounding a curve, and that there was no evidence of drugs or alcohol in the driver's system. The report does also note that the driver had already been involved in 2 other bus crashes since the beginning of the school year. NTSB says that they are still looking at the cameras that were on board. Walker, in the meantime, does face both criminal and civil charges related to the crash. Well, 24 people have been applying for the job leading Knox County schools. A lot of work ahead for the school board, which tentatively plans to vote on this March 23rd for a new superintendent.
So while it is a fairly short timeline, we do want to make sure that we have time for community input because the board values that very much.
The search committee met yesterday hoping to narrow down just a few of those candidates and get public input on the final 2 or 3 the superintendent will be replacing Jim McIntyre. Well, Tennessee's governor is expected to announce today how the state would pay for better roads. Bill Haslam has said that this could include the state's first gas tax hike since 1989. We'll certainly keep you posted on what they talk about. The nation's 41st president, George H.W. Bush, we have learned, is in the hospital because of shortness of breath. The 92-year-old is reportedly responding to treatment pretty well. President Barack Obama is expected to defend why he shortened the prison sentence of a convicted leaker of classified information. That person, known as Chelsea Manning, also known as Bradley Manning at the time of her arrest. The president is planning his final news conference on this term this afternoon, sometime around 2:15. You will be able to watch that right here on WVLT. One anticipated announcement here in Tennessee is about the University of Tennessee's next athletic director. And Local 8 sports reporter Lauren Cash joins us from Gatlinburg, where Coach Fall, former Vol coach Philip Fulmer, was scheduled to speak there today. Lauren, what have we found out?
Yeah, guys, this weekend is the 10th annual Border Bowl between Kentucky and Tennessee, but this one's especially important because for the first time ever, the game will be held right here in Tennessee, and a big reason for that is for the former UT coach Philip Fulmer. He's been a huge advocate for the game since it first started 10 years ago. Now, we're hoping he was scheduled to speak with some of the coaches on both sides here today. He actually just pulled up. We're hoping to catch up with him and get the latest on the athletic director situation at Tennessee, knowing he is one of the top candidates. So we will keep you updated with the latest right here and on local8now.com. But for now, live from Rocky Top Sports World, Lauren Cash, Local 8 Sports.
All right, thank you so much, Lauren. They're reporting from Gatlinburg. Well, Heather Haley will join us back in just a few minutes for your Local 8 forecast and what we can expect the rest of the day.